Zillow. As you may have known, Zillow announced last week that they are leaving the iBuyer space. They are no longer using that as part of their business. Today, I'm going to be covering over some of the facts and information that I know about Zillow and everything that they've released, and I would love to hear your opinions. Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Brock.Bremmer. I'm a real estate agent here in San Antonio, Texas, and I welcome you to my channel. If you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and also smash that bell icon so you'll be notified anytime I post a video. Also, if you can, go ahead and give me one of these thumbs up. That greatly helps me. Let me know that you're here watching and gaining some sort of value from any of my videos. So we're here today because I'm going to be talking about the Zillow fiasco that happened. So Zillow announced just last week that they are leaving the iBuyer space, which means they are no longer going to be buying homes. In addition, they're laying off 25%, so 1 in 4 employees from that home flipping division of their business, and all of these people are going to be left with no job. Prior to this announcement, they had increased their workforce by about 40%. They needed more people to be working and helping them finding these deals all across the nation. And they were doing this because they were just scooping up homes left and right in every market that they were able to do so. All of this buying up that they've been doing over the year has left them with about 9,800 homes that they have currently in ownership, and they've got about 8,200 more homes under contract that are still waiting to be closed and finally purchased. Now, there was tons of allegations and other information from other folks that were claiming that Zillow was in fact buying these homes up at above market prices so that they could later then sell them at a higher price. Well, now, whether that's true or not, Zillow has about 7,000 homes that they're going to be offloading to institutional investors. So who are these investors? These are people who own LLCs. These are the big name people like BlackRock, Vanguard, and the likes that are going to be buying them. In addition, they're going to be owners of the real estate investment trusts or REITs that are going to be buying these and having them in these large portfolios. So there's about 7,000 homes across the nation that are no longer going to be going out to the average Joe, such as you and me, to be purchasing. These are going to be going to these big money investors that have a lot of cash, and they will probably do some sort of either flipping with them if they need it, or they will be renting them out to the public. Outside of these 7,000 homes that are going to the institutional investors, they do have several homes that they are trying to sell to general people like you and me. About 66% of these homes that are being sold to the public are being sold for less than what Zillow actually paid for them. So Zillow here is taking a huge loss. Not only did they overpay for the homes, but now they're selling them for less than what they purchased them for. On top of just this loss from selling it for less than what they purchased it, there's lots of holding costs that are associated with the house, such as they need to pay the mortgage, they need to pay taxes, they need to pay for electricity, water, all kinds of stuff like that just to keep it afloat. Now, from my understanding, Zillow isn't putting people into these homes to rent them out to kind of make some money back. They're just leaving them vacant. In addition to some of those fees and holding costs that I just mentioned, they also have to pay for people to fix them, right? So they were in the home flipping business, or trying to at least. So with this, they have, labor and materials that they have to pay for, which isn't cheap, with the rising lumber costs that we saw. I mean, lumber is expensive, paint, there's all kinds of shortages across the nation in various aspects of everything from, like I just mentioned, labor, paint, even to like various appliances, because there was such a high demand for housing and these items that, across the nation, it just was not working out for lots of individuals. So, Zillow is no exception to this rule, and so in fact, they were finding a delay in a lot of these things, and so that caused them to hold these homes longer. So, again, some of those holding costs of more mortgage, all that fun stuff that has to be paid on a monthly basis. So Zillow is just losing a lot of money on a lot of these houses. So even if Zillow sold a home for the same price that they bought it at, they still are going to lose a decent amount of money because of those holding costs I've explained, as well as the realtor commissions that they have to pay to help get the home sold. One of Zillow's biggest competitors in this iBuyer home flipping space is Opendoor. Now, Opendoor has been very successful so far, and I've been hearing that they have a profit margin of about 5 to 6%, which is actually quite great, but Zillow is not making anything close to that on their profit margins in most cases. So for example, if Zillow sells a $500,000 house for a $50,000 loss, they have to sell 2 homes at Opendoor's profit margin space just to make up for that loss. So, and that's just for 1 home. So now multiply that by 9,800 plus 8,200 homes. So that's a considerable amount of homes. And if they're losing out on most of those, that's a lot of profit that they have to find how to make up. So all of this was a huge reason why Zillow's stock tanked about 35% when they made this announcement. Their investors weren't happy that they were losing money, laying off the labor force, and shutting down an entire portion of their business. So what does this mean for San Antonio and surrounding areas? Well, this means that you have one less iBuyer program out there to help you sell your house, right? There's still Opendoor, Redfin, and other sites like that. Over here at my brokerage, we actually have our own exclusive iBuyer program where in most cases you can get a cash offer and close in as little as about a week. So if that's something you're interested, please reach out. My information is down below. Reach out, we can see if your home qualifies and if you're able to get a cash offer for your home. So what other sort of impact does this have on San Antonio? Well, there's a large labor force that was working for Zillow, helping them flip these homes, whether it be agents, trade work, supply companies in and around the city. Now, a lot of these folks in these different groups here have now less work for them, less people coming to purchase their goods and services. So there is going to be some labor that is going to have a tough time finding some work. And why would this happen? It's because a lot of the investors who come in here and invest in these homes and flip them themselves have their own kind of network of people, whether it be, the various trades, suppliers, or et cetera, that are here in the area. So they go to those folks first to help them out. They have those people that they very much trust, know, and like. So that's who they're going to go to first before some of these other individuals that were working exclusively for Zillow. Other than those couple of side effects, I don't think there's going to be any drastic changes here to the San Antonio market. We still have all these other iBuyer programs, including the exclusive one with my brokerage, that are able to help out in various circumstances. But the best way for you to actually get the best sales price for your home is actually to reach out to me. Let me do some homework on my end. I'll dig deep into the numbers and comparable homes here in the area and see what the best and highest value of your home is at that given time. So that's all I have for you. Now I'm going to transition over here to the video and bring in my good friend Chad Johnerson from the Denver metro area. He is known as the Denver Modern Agent, and he is helping people buy and sell homes in the Denver metro area in Colorado. So if you're in Denver, please reach out to Chad. He is excellent and will take great care of you. So here's our conversation about how Zillow is affecting us and our local markets.
What is up, Brock? How is it going? How are you doing down in San Antonio?
Hey man, it's going pretty good. Can't complain. It's the middle of November here and it's still 80 degrees outside, so super happy about all that.
That is beautiful. Well, hey, I wanted to bring you on because obviously everything that's going on with Zillow is just it's kind of a win for us. In my opinion, I don't know about you. I had a little mini internal cheer, I think, when Zillow canceled their home buy.
I think that was a lot of us agents, honestly. I know I was a little excited about it too to see that happen.
Yeah. Would you say that you saw a couple of properties that Zillow took advantage of in your local market sometimes, or?
Yeah, I know there were some leads that I had talked to, and going into a listing presentation, they kind of forewarned me hey, we're looking at Zillow as an option because they have this program for us and it seems pretty straightforward. And so I kind of cautioned, gave my 2 cents on it and kind of explained how using an agent the traditional way would probably be better, but in the end they got an offer that was above market value, and I told them, I was I don't know how they're doing that, but if they're giving you above market value based on all the comps that I pulled in your area, I can't come anywhere close to that. So yeah, definitely saw some stuff like that happening.
That's crazy. So they ended up just taking that Zillow offer then, huh?
Yeah, and I think of this one specific case that I'm referencing, it was 10 to 15,000 above the best comp that I could pull for that house in the area. So it was just, to me, it was insane, but good for them as the homeowner.
That's so, I had something similar kind of happen to me. I was kind of going through a cold calling phase, and I landed on an owner that was, he was like, yeah, I had my home listed, then I pulled it off, and then I started looking at Zillow, and I did their Zestimate, and they gave me an offer, and it's above what their Zestimate is. He's like, it's about 3 or 4% above it, and I was like,
Wow.
really? And he's like, yeah, and they're going to do it for a 1% convenience fee. He's like, I think I'm going to do it, and I was like, all right, well, I will follow up with you like in a couple of weeks, and I just want to see how that's going. He's like, yeah, absolutely. He's like, I'd be happy to share it. He was a landlord who had a bunch of properties, and he's like, I'm just trying to offload them because of all of the the rent moratorium stuff. He was just kind of getting sketched out by that. So he took a Zillow Homes offer, and he ended up closing on it. Didn't have any issues with it. And he goes, I called him back after it was done. I was like, would you use it again? He said, probably.
Oh, wow.
So yeah.
I mean, if you're getting above market value and you're happy with the fees, I mean, yeah, by all means do it. I mean, I can't argue too much about it from the investment side.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I was gonna say, it's like the people that really did come out on top of this whole situation were the homeowners that actually did take advantage of Zillow overpaying for their homes.
I'd have to agree.
And it sucks because 7,000 of those properties now that Zillow owns nationwide are going to institutional investors. And I don't know how you feel about that, but I'm sure that has to make some people a little upset.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's there has been previously tons of competition among the buyers, right? I know I'm in San Antonio, you're in Denver, and I think we've shared some stories in the past where we've seen some similar things where we're just having a very competitive market for buyers. So considering that there's 7,000 homes nationwide now that buyers can't get because it's going to investors, like, to me, that's, I feel for the people that are out there trying to buy a home, especially in these markets with the big amounts of these homes.
Now, have you ever went and looked at a Zillow listing by chance, like recently, after they discontinued their home buying, operation?
Not recently. It's been a while since I've looked at a Zillow listing like in person. But I know I had some clients that were making offers on Zillow homes prior to this announcement.
Gotcha. Were they coming in below what they had them listed at?
I think with these folks, like this one was actually one of those that wasn't like super high priced as far as like Zillow trying to sell it. So the comps on that one, if I remember correctly, and this was towards the beginning of this year, so it's been a while. But if I remember correctly, this one was priced fairly correctly, and looking at the comps, it was, I think we did like right at asking price.
Gotcha. Yeah, I was kind of mentioning in my video earlier that I had seen a property on market listed by Zillow, and they had cut their price by over $100,000, and it was still over market value for that neighborhood.
Wow, that's incredible.
So
I know over there in Denver you've got a higher price point, but I don't know if that's that much higher.
Yeah, to put it kind of into tangible perspective, it was listed at, oh my goodness, $685 originally, and then they cut it to $580, and everything else that comped out in that area sold for like $440, $460.
Oh wow!
So
that's incredible.
So I don't know if their algorithms work on the listing side of things, but yeah, it was a little out of touch.
Well, I think as we see, it didn't work out too well. No. The algorithm. So.
No.
Yeah.
No, it did not. Man, well, what do you think is gonna kind of happen moving forward? I guess for your market. I mean, they didn't have that big of a market share, right? Like a lot of people are scared of, oh my goodness, it's going to cause a market crash. What do you think about that type of sentiment?
Yeah, I don't really think it's going to cause a market crash. I mean, it's going to probably have some sort of ripple effect, right? Because they've had their large iBuyer program. Tons of people, if not everyone, knows about Zillow. So, I mean, just the fact that they're leaving the marketplace as a buyer and a potential like resource for buyers to look to sell their home. I mean, there's definitely going to be some cause or some changes happening, right? I know, for instance, there's a pretty big team here in San Antonio that sells homes, and a lot of them they have partnered with Zillow to help sell. So I think they're going to have some sort of negative side effect from it. But overall, I think it'll be good for us agents, especially because I know we keep hearing our clients say, hey, well, this estimate says it's X amount. And then when we do comps, it's kind of like way different and, more realistic for that area. So like I mentioned, I don't think there's going to be a market crash, but definitely some kind of side effect.
Yeah.
What about you?
I was gonna say, I think that it's maybe gonna help bring our clients kind of back into reality in a sense, without just being and pointing at the Zestimate and being like, well, that's what it says, and it's like, okay, cool. And they lost a bunch of money, essentially buying based off of that number. Like, how does that make you feel like when you really compare it to, what is the fair market rate? I think it's a little bit of ammunition for us to going into listing presentations if someone were to bring that up, because now, I mean, we know the model didn't work out like they had planned. I mean, I know I personally, I didn't see it coming. I mean, I was like, yeah, I mean, they're a for-profit company. I'm sure they got a ton of money, a ton of research going into this. It's probably, I mean, they might know something that I don't, but
exactly, yeah.
I was shocked.
Yeah, I was definitely a little shocked too. I mean, I was kind of along the same thought process of like, okay, well, they're a pretty large company, so they got enough, financial resources to get a good team and actually like build out the algorithm and look at these properties. But I guess we didn't know all the back end hidden stuff that we, have kind of been exposed to now. So yeah, definitely, like you said as well. I mean, just, giving more ammunition to us agents that, to go into a listing presentation and just like provide that much more value to our clients. And not only that, but like, I don't really know how the whole Zillow experience happens when you like sell your house, but like I know from us working as a listing agent with a, seller client, like we go, talk to them and meet with them regularly, send them updates and like add that personal touch. And not saying that Zillow didn't do that, but I don't know that they had that because their agents probably are in an office location somewhere away from whatever city or state that they're trying to buy in.
Right. Yeah. I couldn't imagine that it was that personalized.
Probably not.
But did you ever did you ever hear any of your clients maybe like, or maybe people that you know or that are in the industry like accusing Zillow of trying to like inflate the real estate prices?
Yeah, interesting that you bring that up because definitely heard that coming in, and I did hear some people say, and I don't know how true it is or not, but like I've heard people saying, hey, like Zillow's coming in here intentionally paying more for these homes that when they sell them, that now they've got these solid comps that sold previously, and so now they can sell them for more, even though, traditionally market value wouldn't have risen that much in that short of a time. So yeah, I definitely heard that.
I touched on it. I was like, it's almost like they were buying houses like people pay for stock, trading on essentially future earnings potential of a stock. I was like, yeah, it's just a little odd, and I don't know. There's a lot of things that went through my head. I think when I started seeing them, going into fixing and flipping and trying to grab their market share, as being a home service company. But I don't know. It was I kind of felt that it was kind of like a marketing type game too. Like maybe they're just trying to get their name out there, more people to like recognize them and talk about them. But hey,
who knows?
I think it just kind of blew up in their face, and thankfully for us, now we get to be the superheroes.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I mentioned too, is it's an iBuyer program that's kind of gone away, but I think too it'll be good because there's lots of those programs out there, including the one we have with our brokerage to help clients possibly get a cash offer. So I think that we have now that opportunity to show like, okay, well now there's not Zillow, but maybe we can try iBuyer program here with our brokerage and see if maybe that's an option for you. So
yeah. Did you ever do any like fix and flips yourself for your investment properties, or you did like more long-term rehabs, right?
Yeah. So actually the house I'm living in now, I purchased with the intentions of, fixing it all up and then selling it within about 2 years. And here we are just over 2 years later. I'm still fixing it because things, are going slower and whatnot. But I'm enjoying, fixing this house up and, living in it. And I actually really love my neighbors.
Yeah,
so
that's awesome.
It's really nice.
So you might hold on to it.
Yeah, I think I'm going to stay here for a little bit longer. But yeah, I do have another property as well, investment one, but that wasn't a fix and flip. I bought that as a new construction. So
gotcha. Well, I guess thankfully we don't have to compete against Zillow anymore for listings, but that's kind of really all I wanted to touch on. Did you have any questions, I guess, for me up here in Denver, like at all?
Did you happen to see any of those news articles about the lawsuits that are coming forth?
I saw it briefly. I think there was like some announcement today that I read, literally scrolling through Twitter or something.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't really read into it too much myself, but apparently, like apparently their shareholders are bringing some lawsuits towards them for their flipping business.
That's pretty wild. I mean, but also understandable because they're essentially, I think, like selling people on this idea that it was going to be this super profitable business, and yeah, unfortunately, they're losing a lot of money as a result.
Yeah, it seems like they're losing a lot because I know a lot of those homes that they're trying to sell now, they're selling at a loss for what they paid for it. So definitely wouldn't make investors happy. I know I wouldn't be if I was one of them.
Yeah, they're probably making the best decision cutting the home flipping division and just cutting their losses and moving on. I think in the long run, it's probably going to save themselves as a company. But unfortunately, yeah, it's going to hurt a little bit on the housing market as we move forward. So
absolutely, I definitely agree with you on that.
Well, do you want to, I guess, plug yourself? Where can people find you at? Where can they reach you? I mean, I'm sure I'll put it all down in the description and whatnot. So
I'm on Instagram. It's Brock_Bremmer. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all those. It's just Brock_Bremmer or Brock.Bremmer, depending on the platform. But yeah, definitely all those places.
Yeah, and you service pretty much all of San Antonio, or do you have like a niche that you kind of focus on around San Antonio area?
Not really a niche specifically, but yeah, all of San Antonio, New Braunfels, and surrounding areas. So Bernie, Bandera, Helotes, Selma, Schertz, all those fun places. So anywhere in San Antonio, as long as it's within about a 45 to an hour drive, I'll be there to help you out.
Awesome. Well, if I have any clients that want to go down that way, you guys are going to be definitely seeing Brock, and he will be taking very good care of you. Brock, I appreciate it again, man. Thank you for taking the time to talk with me.
Absolutely. It was a great one. All right, guys, that was a blast. I hope you found this useful. If you did find it useful, go ahead and hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Also smash that bell icon. Go ahead and give me one of these thumbs up so I know you found some value. I definitely thank you so much for your time and watching this video, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Have a great day.